All right, my friends, we have to have a heart to heart about the economy. We have to have a heart to heart, very sober and realistic about the historical and political implications of an economy that is on paper as strong as today's economy is. Now, I know there's people who are going to be mad. David, you're so out of touch. You don't have any idea what's going on out there. My comments about the economy are never based on what I or you as individuals are personally experiencing. My commentary about the economy is always based on the broad-based data and metrics that we use to measure how an economy is doing. Let's start with today's news. Inflation is down again. You might recall that October inflation was 0.0, pulling down year over year inflation to 3.2%. Well, we now have the November numbers published at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time this morning. Inflation in November was 0.1%. What this did to the year over year number is pull it down further from 3.2% to 3.1%. I've explained a dozen times or more how that year over year number is constructed from the trailing 12 month of individual numbers. I won't do it again, but the point here is we now are essentially within that inflation target of between 2 and 3% that's considered healthy and desirable for a developed economy like the United States. You can say, well, eggs are still too expensive. That absolutely may be the case. My hipster pasture raised eggs are down 30 cents a dozen. I get these, they're free of everything. They're like air. They're, soy free, gluten free, pork free, whatever. It's nothing. These eggs are nothing, just grass. They used to be they were all the way up to $7.79 a dozen. At their peak, they're now down to $7.49. Okay, your eggs maybe are up, I don't know. But the point is, inflation slowed to 3.1% annual. We found that out today. What else is going on? Well, the stock market is imminently going to reach all-time highs, depending on which metric you look at and which index. The stock market is already at all-time highs. Here's a report from Business Insider. By one measure, the Dow is already at a new all-time high. On a total return basis, measuring performance that includes the dividend payments, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is already at an all-time high. The S&P 500 is less than 1% away from an all-time historic high on a total return basis. Now, you might say, David, not everybody's exposed to the stock market. That's not a good metric by itself for how the economy is doing. And I would say to you, you are absolutely and completely correct. That's why we don't only look at stock market performance. We now have unemployment year over year at 3.1, stock market at or within 1% of an all-time high on a total return basis. And we have unemployment at a historic low. You go back to the mid-1950s, you see slightly lower unemployment. And short of that post-World War II New Deal employment boom, you haven't seen a period of such sustained low unemployment for decade after decade after decade. Now, why do I care about this? This is not about telling you we've solved the economy. We now have a Northern European style, and even that economy, those economies aren't perfect, a Northern European style economy where we're no longer concerned about inequality. We're no longer concerned about people not having a safety net. That's not the point here. The point is the following. Many of my dear friends and colleagues on the left, from the reports I'm getting from people emailing me and in my subreddit, although admittedly, I haven't actually seen any of these clips, but I'm trusting that my audience is accurately reporting it to me. Many of my friends and colleagues on the left are convinced that Joe Biden cannot win. Why can't he win? Some say because he's old. Well, Trump's basically just as old and far less healthy. Others say it's because people are angry with Joe Biden about his handling of the Israeli-Hamas war. I don't believe that that's the primary voting issue for most voters. There's all these different reasons to be worried about Joe Biden. Some are even going as far as to say Biden should be pulled and replaced with somebody else. Here's the argument I want to make. And again, any one of us could be wrong. I didn't think Trump would win in 2016. It's not like I make predictions with some great predictive ability. But when I look historically and I see economies that are this stable, incumbent presidents get reelected. This is a similar analysis to the keys to an election that Alan Lichtman does, which is when you have systemic stability and economic strength the way we do now, usually presidents get reelected. Now, could it be different in 2024 because Joe Biden is old and despite a strong economy, voters are going to say, we want Trump instead of Biden, even though the economy is strong because Biden's 2.5 years older? Would be pretty stupid of voters to do. Voters do stupid things sometimes. They elected Trump in 2016, but that seems hard to believe. Are voters going to be so disgusted with Biden's handling of the Israeli-Hamas war that they will say, screw the good economy, we're going to make Trump the president? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I am not predicting a Biden win definitively in any way, shape, or form. What I am telling you is that some of the breathless assumptions that Biden certainly cannot win when the economy is this solid for such a sustained period of time, every metric looking at minimum fine, right? You don't have to be shouting from the rooftops about everything's perfect. Would we rather 2.4% inflation? Sure. Might it be down to that by November? Yeah, it might be. You don't have to hang your hat on every single metric, but when the economy generally is doing this well, presidents get reelected. And so the argument you need to make is, what is so bad about Biden that despite a historically strong economy and the fact that presidents get reelected when the economy is this strong, what is so bad about him that he is uniquely destined to lose to the guy he defeated 3 years ago? That's the question we have to be asking. None of us should assume anything. We all should be registered. We all should vote. Let's not do the thing this holiday season where you're racing around to multiple stores, spending way too much time scanning shelves for some perfect gift, and then getting another gift card for mom. Here's an idea that will make mom or dad or stepmom or brother or friend very happy this year. A digital picture frame from Aura Frames that can be preloaded with pictures. The New York Times named Aura the best digital photo frame. I've given each of my parents one of these as a gift. My girlfriend gave her parents an Aura frame as a gift. We loaded them in advance with pictures of the baby, which everyone loves. And now I can keep adding pictures, or my parents can, whoever wants to manage it. It's all done seamlessly over Wi-Fi with the Aura app, and you get infinite cloud storage. You don't have to deal with memory cards and USB cables and this sort of thing. One frame can have multiple users who add and remove pictures. And I love how you can load the pictures without even opening the frame. So you give them a brand new wrapped up frame, already has pictures on it. You'll also get $30 off their best-selling frames when you go to auraframes.com/Pacman and then use the code Pacman. These frames sell out quickly. Get yours before they're gone. The link is down below.